follow-up is, who was Horace Bixby and why was he so significant to Samuel Clemens? This is kind of a broad context question.
Okay. Well, the riverboat was the glamour job among working class jobs when Samuel Clemens was a boy. I think there's an analogy to the airline pilot in the 1960s. I mean, this is someone with high skill, high wages, but it's still manual labor. It still requires a lot of knowledge. It's a high skill manual labor job, but it's not a desk job. Working with machines has tremendous responsibility, and steamboats were incredibly lucrative. And having pilots who were capable of negotiating safely that very complex and quickly changing river, you can see why they would make so much money. Sam Clemens, raised in Hannibal, Missouri, was raised very poor. His father had aspirations. He was a justice of the peace. He saw himself as part of the intelligentsia, the upper class, if you will, but he didn't have the money to match. He'd moved many times. He had vast tracts of land back in the Appalachians that were worthless because they were inaccessible, but he assumed that one day they would make loads of money. So the long and short of it, he was raised to be rich, but in fact was dirt poor. And he had to be apprenticed to a job. And the kind of manual labor that still had the aura of being genteel was working in a print shop. Benjamin Franklin did it, right? He became the Dr. Ben, the patron saint of the United States in some ways. So apprenticed to a print shop. I mean, the kid loved to read. It was a natural fit for him, but it didn't pay. It didn't pay at all. It was consigning him to that same life of shabby, genteel poverty that his father had endured. When he could get on a steamboat, and he finally did after trying to ply his trade as a printer for years and barely making ends meet, he was able to borrow money from his brother-in-law in St. Louis, a successful businessman, to be apprenticed to be a steamship pilot. And when he started working as a steamboat pilot, when he actually got his license, he was making money hand over fist. That was liberation for him. This is a man for whom money was very important. So the sense of economic power, I think, was first and foremost. Secondly, it's a prestigious position. It may not be prestigious in the way that his family would have liked, but in Western eyes, this was a very prestigious position. Steamboat pilots were